Welcome to a look at genetics, diseases, and how our bodies interact with the environment. To learn about the important role of biconcave shaped red blood cells in our body. Cells behave like actors in a large production as they obey encoded scripts. But what happens when the twist changes the routine? Come along with me on this insightful journey. Our blood cells flow effortlessly through our veins, delivering the oxygen necessary for life. Sickle cell anemia, however, changes this choreography. A genetic mutation alters how red blood cells' hemoglobin functions. Hemoglobin is a red color pigment in our blood that helps the blood carry oxygen. In the lungs, hemoglobin binds to oxygen and transports it to the body's tissues. This mechanism varies in sickle cell anemia. Hemoglobin develops aberrant forms due to specific mutations, primarily when oxygen levels fall. Due to the peculiar configurations, red blood cells take on a crescent or sickle shape. Let's use an analogy to visualize it. Have you ever seen a sickle designed to remove the coconut stalks before they reach us? The blade's arc provides a visual representation of the sickle cell form. This abnormality may seem small, but this can forever change one's life for the worse. Let's briefly discuss another aspect of the human body now. Have you ever pulled back your eyelids to see a lighter or whiter tint? This seemingly straightforward action can reveal crucial health-related information. It frequently indicates the potential presence of anemia. Anemia develops when the blood doesn't have enough healthy red blood cells or hemoglobin to carry oxygen. This deficit can cause our skin and our mucous membranes to appear paler, as if the curtain had been drawn back on a quieter performance inside our body's magnificent theatre. But how can we escape the clutches of anemia? We can eat the correct foods to fuel our bodies. Iron-rich foods, including spinach, lentils, lean meats, and fortified cereals, prevent anemia. As the essential dancer in our nutritional ensemble, iron gives our blood cells the vigor and strength to carry out their responsibilities. What's the connection between sickle cells and anemia, you may ask? The answer to that in short is short lifespan. Biconcave-shaped healthy red blood cells can live up to 120 days. But sickle-shaped red blood cells have a mere lifespan of 10 to 20 days, as their shape makes them less flexible and more prone to damage. This increases stress on the bone marrow for red blood cell production. While the bone marrow can initially meet the increased demand, it won't be able to keep up over time, leading to a reduction in red blood cells, causing anemia. And this connection is also why the disease is called sickle cell anemia. Let's delve into an intriguing link between sickle cell anemia and malaria. Yes, you heard it right, malaria. A quick clarification. It's not mosquitoes causing it, they're just parasite carriers. Your body becomes the host, a place the parasite invades. Individuals with sickle cell disease experience the characteristic sickle cell shaped red blood cells due to inheriting two mutated hemoglobin alleles. Those with two normal alleles, of course, remain unaffected, and those with one mutated allele and one normal allele do have sickle cells, but an insignificant amount, making the person unaffected. Alleles are different versions of a gene that determine specific traits. We'll use the letter capital S to represent normal hemoglobin and small s to represent mutated hemoglobin. Sickle cell anemia is affected by two alleles, so there are three possible combinations here: capital S, capital S, capital S, small s, and small s, small s. The first case means that the person is not affected by sickle cell anemia. In the second case, the person will not be affected by the disease but will have some amount of sickled red blood cells in the body. Lastly, in the third case, the person will get affected by sickle cell anemia and will face the brunt of the disease. Let's consider malaria in a tropical area where the disease is common and access to medical facilities is poor and difficult. Due to these circumstances, many people in this region often succumb to malaria infections. In this context, if an individual possesses two capital S alleles for hemoglobin, they will not die from sickle cell anemia, but from malaria since it is common in the region. On the other hand, if someone has two small S alleles, they will die from sickle cell anemia. The only way for a person to survive is if they are heterozygous, which in this case means having one capital S allele and one small s allele. This survival advantage is due to the fact that malaria affects our red blood cells, and the sickle shape of these cells hinders the parasite's ability to invade and replicate, thus preventing the development of severe malaria. This phenomenon is known as the sickle cell trait, and it serves as an example of natural selection. If you have more questions on how alleles work, comment on this video and we shall answer or cover those queries in another video. In conclusion, let's take a moment to acknowledge the fantastic details that make up our humanity and the stories ingrained in our cellular structure. The cycle of life continues despite significant barriers, demonstrating our indomitable spirit in the face of difficulty. Let us feed our desire for knowledge, growth, and a better future, just as we would provide our bodies with the critical nutrients they require. Thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe to our channel.